Hello, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Secret, but you may call me Secret. Okay, yes, this is getting out of hand. But as we all know, Pokemon's 20th anniversary is coming soon, and to celebrate this, I will be doing all Pokemon content from now until the end of February. Now are you ready? Because this grand tale in the Pokemon world begins right now. This tale starts in a small town in northern BC, Canada. In the town's local video store, a young, simple-minded child would make a very important decision that day. For you see, this child had just recently acquired the Nintendo DS handheld system, but alas, his only game was Nintendogs. This child, this is me by the way, just in case you haven't figured it out, was on a grand adventure to find a new DS game. When all things seemed to be lost and there was no more hope for his journey, he happened upon two games, Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. Now, how I chose which game to play then still has a huge influence on how I choose which Pokemon game I get first with each new release. So how did I choose which game to play first? Well, I took a good, long, hard look at each game and decided that my first step into what would be a great adventure that would last for years to come was Pokemon Diamond. I made this decision purely based on the fact that I thought Dialga looked more cool than Palkia did. Now, of course, I didn't own Diamond. The first Pokemon game I actually owned was Pearl, even though I asked for Diamond. Was I mad? No, it was still Pokemon, and I didn't really expect my parents to know the difference. When I first played Diamond, I got stuck in Snow Point City because I was a child and didn't really pay attention to much of the dialogue. I got there in about 3 to 4 days though, which is pretty impressive for a kid. Of course, I learned from this mistake and finished Pearl. Sometime after, I finally got Diamond. I was so happy because I could finally get Dialga. After getting Dialga and beating the Elite Four a couple times, I then traded my Palkia over to Diamond. After many battles with the Verse Seeker, I got my Palkia up to level 100. As I was still pretty young at this point, I was very excited and very proud of myself. I had my own level 100, one that I worked on, and that work had paid off. So of course, like any power-crazed child with a level 100 legendary Pokemon, I went and slaughtered everything, from rebattling trainers to murdering tiny, innocent wild Pokemon. It didn't end there though. I then went back to the Elite Four for, in my mind, one last challenge to prove once and for all that I was the one true champion of the Sinnoh region. I had a very vivid imagination. So there I am, at the gates of the Pokemon League, ready for anything that may come my way. Naturally, I absolutely murdered the teams of the Elite Four members, and all that was left was the champion. Cynthia was the only person left in my way to becoming number 1. We engaged in an epic battle, her team versus mine. I took out 3 or so of her Pokemon easily as I was using my Palkia, but then out came her Milotic. Was I worried? Hell no! I had a level 100 Palkia that knew Thunderbolt. Of course I wasn't worried. Damn you past me! Damn you and your naivete! I go straight for the Thunderbolt, knowing that it was super effective damage, thinking it would one-hit KO, but unbeknownst to my young mind, Milotic is a beast! That's right! Her Milotic survived! I was shocked! Something that my Palkia couldn't kill? It was mind-blowing! However, the Mind Nukes didn't stop there. Her Milotic proceeded to use Mirror Coat. Now, for those of you who are watching this and have no idea what Mirror Coat is, here's what Mirror Coat is. Quote, if the last amount of damage done to the user before the use of Mirror Coat is greater than 0 and was dealt by a special move, Mirror Coat will do twice as much damage as taken by that attack to the opponent. That's a quote from Bulbapedia, by the way. You know what that means, right? Of course you do! My young mind was blown for a second time in one turn, as this Milotic proceeded to one-hit KO my Palkia with no second thoughts of remorse. But that's enough about my beginnings to the Pokemon world. Let's talk about my second adventure. So the next Pokemon game I got after Diamond was actually Emerald. I loved this game. I don't really know what else to say about this. I thought Emerald was great. I loved Rayquaza. I loved, well, everything. This game is also why I love Sceptile so much. It was the starter I chose for my first playthrough, and I don't know. I just really like Emerald. Alright, let's talk minerals. No, not those minerals! Of course, by minerals, I mean Pokemon Platinum version. I mean, what's not to like about this one? It takes everything that was great about Diamond and Pearl and makes it better. More content, more Pokemon, and you can catch both Dialga and Palkia? The inner 7-year-old in me screamed when I saw this game. Pokemon Black and White. You know, I never really realized how much I actually loved these games until around the 3rd time I played it. I mean, they had a pretty interesting story, many of the Pokemon designs were really awesome, and in Gen 5, I got introduced to the joys of competitive battling, even if it was right before Gen 6 came out. Black and White 2 are no different in this regard. I loved them. They were fun and introduced many aspects of that Black and White were lacking in. Gen 6. Oh boy. I could talk on and on about how much I love this generation, but I'll save that for another time. X and Y brought so much to the Pokemon series, and I loved everything it had to offer. Before I start rambling on about how much I love this particular gen, I'll stop here. So that's my history with Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed. What's your favorite memory of Pokemon? I would love to know. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and happy 20th anniversary, Pokemon!